But it's the only person below White Holiday in the ComicsGate phone book. It's my favorite failed clone of Peter Sammetti. The YouTube WyzGyz. How you doing, Conrad? Welcome to the show.
Hello. Welcome to WyzGyz Entertainment. This is your host, Wyman. We are joined today by special guest. Oh, excuse me. Mark makes comics. How's it going?
Doing all right, man. How you doing?
Good, thank you. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a little bit since you last came on. Would you take a moment and would you mind taking a moment, share with us your origin story, how you what was your upbringing, how you got into comics or toys or pop culture, and what led you to ultimately come to start your own crowdfunded comic book?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, my first introduction to comic books was probably like, the X-Men TV series, Spider-Man, in the early 90s. I think a lot of people around, I was born in like the late 80s. So, a lot of people around that time, kids my age and stuff like that, they started, I think, getting into comic books because of, those shows. I think the first episode of the X-Men, I think that had to have aired in like 92 or 93 or something like that. So that was probably my first introduction to comic books. But, after that, I'd have my dad, take me to comic book shops, I saw a comic book, I think, in like a gas station or something like that. And, I was just like, oh, well, that, looks like what was on TV. And then I like connected in my head, my 5-year-old brain, connected the dots. And, eventually my dad ended up taking me to a comic shop. I actually still have the first comic I ever bought. It was, yeah, it's X-Men number, I think, 14.
Whoa!
Not like the original X-Men. It was like, like 1992. It's like volume 2 or something like that. It's do what?
Was that like Uncanny X-Men?
No, it wasn't Uncanny. It was just X-Men, like early like 90s. I think it was like 92. It was the Age of Apocalypse was going on. No, it wasn't Age of Apocalypse. It was what was the Executioner song is what it was. It was one of the Executioner song books. Yeah, it was, and it came with like a card, like a trading card, and I was just hooked. Like I was like, that's the coolest thing ever. Not only did I, it was only like $1.25. It was something like I scrounged change and stuff, and I was able to get the book, and then I opened it up and it had a card in it, and I just flipped. I was like, that's awesome.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
But you said it's still not the original?
No, I can find a picture of it if you want. It's
was it like a reissue?
I could actually just go grab it, but no, it wasn't like it was during like the age of not the Age of Apocalypse. It was the Executioner song. It was like early 90s.
Because I was reading comics in the 80s and early 90s, and I thought that X-Men was already well in their 200s, issue 200s.
I think the Uncanny X-Men was, but they relaunched with just the X-Men as like their own title.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was just X-Men. Like, it didn't have Uncanny or anything like that.
Right.
It was just like X-Men.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it was that was the first one that I ever got. Let me try and see if I can find the cover of it. But yeah, I mean, it was so cool that it came with a trading card. The art was incredible. I think Andy Kubert did the cover art for it. I mean, it's a fantastic. It was just a fantastic introduction to it, and I got to watch it every Saturday, and then I'd be able to go and get comics every month, and they were still accessible. So for kids, it was like you scrounge up enough change out of the couch, and you're able to go and buy a comic book.
Uh-huh.
So it was really cool, and I remember loving it, and I think, I started going into some of the other comic books, like I think I started reading Blade at some point. Spawn. My mom wouldn't let me read Spawn, so I had to hide those. But she ended up throwing a lot of them away when she found them. I got in a lot of trouble because my mom, she's relatively religious, and Spawn is a he comes back from hell. And I tried explaining to her, like, no, he comes back from hell to fight against hell. And she's like, well, you can't do that, and it's just a big, I don't know. I was 6 years old trying to justify
trying to make a case for it.
Yeah. The funny thing is my dad would turn around and he'd walk me right back into the store, and buy, he didn't care what I was buying, so I'd walk in, I'd pull something off the shelf. He wouldn't look at it. It wasn't like he was going through and making sure. So,
well, was he at all into comics?
No, not really. He liked movies.
So he would like take you to the comic book shop. You look around, find what you're interested in, then you just go to the counter with you and pay for it, and then you'd head out.
Well, I always had to pay. I would basically, what it would be is I'd find change, or I'd steal change. And I'd come up to him and I'd be like, I have this money, can we go? And inevitably he would take me after I'd pester him enough. And when we got there, I'd pick out what I wanted, and I'd pick out a couple of things sometimes, and I wouldn't have enough money. I buy like a large margin. I'd pick out 4 or 5 comics, and I'd only have money for one, and he'd cover it. It was cool. But I mean, like, back then they were only like $1.25, $1.50, at most. So, it wasn't like I was pulling down like 8 variant covers, all at like $5-6 a piece like it is now. But
yeah,
I don't know. I started myself a pretty decent little collection back in the day, and like I said, my mom, she would monitor a lot of those things, but my dad just didn't care. So it was pretty funny. Sometimes I'd come home with a Spawn comic, and I'd have to I'd run to my room, trying to get past her, because she'd be right there, just like, what do you got? What do you got? But it was great because she worked nights, so like my dad would go and he would rent movies, and I remember seeing Pulp Fiction when I was like 8 years old.
Dang.
And I should not have been watching that movie. Like, I look back, I've watched that movie, I don't know how many times, but every time I watch it, I'm like, how the hell did my dad just sit through and let my 8-year-old ass sit on the couch right next to him watching this movie?
Dang.
I don't know. He was a cool dad. It was there were movies definitely that I watched. I think Warlock 2, which is it's a B movie, and but at the time it was terrifying. Like, when I was like, I had to have been 7 or 6 or 7. I don't know when it came out, but when he rented it, and I watched it, and it terrified me. I had nightmares for like 2 days because of that movie. It was a rough one for me, but I love horror movies now because of shit like that. He loved Westerns though, which is kind of what spawned my love of Westerns too. That's something that, he would pick out movies and stuff like that, like, McClintock and, Searchers, stuff like that. The Dollar, the Fistful of Dollars and stuff like that. The trilogy, with
So cool.
Clint Eastwood and Sergio Leone.
Oh yeah.
But, watching those growing up, that makes an impact. But yeah, I mean, he also would pick out those horror movies like Freddy, all the Freddy movies, stuff like that. And he'd sit and laugh at him, and I'd sit and I'd cower. I don't know sometimes if he was laughing at me or the movie, but we had a good time. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That sounds like a fun childhood.
Yeah, he was cool. It was probably not the best thing to do for a kid, but I turned out all right, I guess. So, not great, but all right. I'll take all right.
And did your love of comics parlay into? I mean, did you see yourself one day actually doing your own drawing? Did you get into drawing or writing?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just adding storytelling.
Oh, well, I've always kind of done it. Like that's the thing is, I remember when I was a kid, I used to draw all the time, and I would create little stories, and I would just kind of put pencil to paper and just kind of make these stories. Like I remember when I think in like 7th and 8th grade, I would try to make my own comics. And granted, they were based on, whatever. Like I had a Hercules story that I wrote, and it's because I had when I was a kid, I had a bunch of toys, and I didn't, my parents would put them in a box, and I'd be going through boxes, and I'd see toys, and then I'd just make a story out of them. And I kind of just pieced together stuff like that, and I always wanted to, I've always wanted to do it. To like actually sit down and like draw out like a professional comic, and this is my first attempt at that. So like I said, I've always written, and I've always drawn, but I don't draw very well. I haven't put the time in, I think, is what it is with my drawing. I don't think I've put the effort and the time in to really make myself a decent artist. So with that, I kind of explored my options, and I found passion for drawing, who's doing the book, and he's done a phenomenal job. I couldn't see anybody else doing this book, like drawing this book. As far as the writing, like I've written, I write in my spare time. Like I write at work in between, projects and stuff, at work while I'm, sitting at work. I'll sneak off with the computer, and I'll just start, typing and stuff. But it's just something that, I've always done, and it's always something that I've always loved to do. And now, I've pieced together Grave Robbers, and, Passion's along for the ride, and, he's doing a hell of a job. So, yeah, it all kind of coalesced into Grave Robbers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's pretty sweet. And, yeah, very cool. Let's see. Out of curiosity, what were your parents' reactions when you told them you were making a Western type of comic book?
My dad was cool with it. He's a big fan of like I said, he's a big fan of Westerns and horror movies himself. So, I kind of explained it. My grandpa even is a pretty big fan of that kind of stuff. Not so much horror.
Uh-huh.
He's my grandfather. He's very, well, how do you put it? He's a very proper Englishman. So he doesn't really get into the horror movies so much, but he's a big fan of Westerns. He likes America, and he's a big fan of America and stuff like that. So, he he's definitely excited for that kind of thing. My mom is definitely supportive of it, and she definitely wants me to succeed, but she doesn't so much like the gore. She doesn't so much like the swearing, and the name of the main character, Big Dick Murphy, is not something that she. When I was so hard to tell her the name. She's asking about it. She's like, Grave Robbers. Why is it called Grave Robbers? They're not like evil demons or something like that, are they? And I was like, no, like they're, these guys, and they've got weird powers, and they kind of hunt evil stuff. And she has this look on her face like she's just, she's obviously not happy with it. But she starts asking, she's like, well, what are the characters? And I'm like, well, there's this one character, her name's Amanda Lynn. And she's like, oh, that's kind of clever. I like that. Her name's Amanda Lynn. That's, well, tell me some of the others. I was like, well, there's Waylon Louder. And she's like, Waylon Louder, Wailing Loud. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Well, who's this guy? And she like points to Big Dick Murphy. And I just kind of sit there like, I don't know if I should answer this. And I'm just like, his name is Big Dick Murphy. And she just kind of looks at me, doesn't crack a smile, doesn't laugh, just looks at me. I start laughing, and everybody else starts laughing. But I thought it was hilarious. But she did not seem to jump on that kind of bandwagon with
Oh my God.
she wasn't going along for that ride. So
Oh my gosh, how funny!
yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny.
It was,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
So you was it one of those things where you actively did a search for artistic talents and you fielded uh, lots of different portfolios? You mentioned that you knew pretty immediately that passion was the man for the job. Did it take a while to come across his work?
Well, a little bit actually. It did. I bounced around a couple of different art. Like I floated around. I didn't ask a whole lot of people. I asked, I think, 2 or 3 people before I got to passion. I got turned down by one guy, and I got another guy did some work for it, and I just thought it was kind of bland. Like it was very I don't want to be mean because it was good work. It just wasn't what I was looking for. Like it didn't have the like the quality, that I was looking for. Like I wanted something that had kind of a cartoonish feel to kind of cut through the dark vibe, because there are a lot of dark themes in the book. It's about it's about a guy who, he's a Civil War vet. He saw some pretty horrible things, and his wife is dead and his son is dead, killed by a monster. And that's the main character, and he just hunts these things out of vengeance. So there's definitely a lot of dark themes in the book. So I wanted it to have kind of a lighter aesthetic so that it would kind of contrast with the darker themes. And I also wanted something that was really well done. Like I wanted it to look like a professional book. I didn't want it to look like something that was kind of put together in haste, or somebody who didn't know what they were doing. I wanted this to have that kind of professional vibe that people would like, or that people respond to, I think. So, I had shopped around a little bit longer, and I just happened to see him on Twitter. I can't even remember what he posted, but I clicked on it on his Instagram, excuse me. I clicked on his Instagram, and I went through a lot of the monsters and stuff that he had drawn, because that was going to be really important. Not only is there, Big Dick Murphy as a werewolf, but, there are several monsters that are going to show up later in the book as well. Also later in, future issues, there's going to be a lot of monsters. So it's going to be something that's important. And, so I was going through, and, I loved his style. I really liked it. He's got like I like to compare him to like a cross between like Midoriya and Wrightson. Like those two kind of combined. That's kind of his style. It has a cartoonish vibe, but it's really, really well done. He's an incredible artist, and I'm excited for him to be on board, and I was excited to have him excited about the comic. And we just kind of, he did some commissions for me, and after a while, we just kind of started joking around and stuff like that, and talking about the book. And I eventually sent him the script, and he loved it, so we just kind of fell into doing the book.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah.
That is awesome how it worked out.
Yeah, it looks great. The books, the pages that he's done that haven't been shown are phenomenal looking. It's gonna be a fantastic book. It's gonna be a really fun read. We had a hell of a lot of fun making it. It was a good time.
Nice. Yeah, one might say he has a passion for drawing.
One might say.
So grave robbers.
Yep. Grave robbers.
Very cool. Let's check out the trailer. Cool.
Yep. Got to thank WyzGyz for that one. He did that, and he did a phenomenal job. I'm really, really pleased with how that turned out. It's just a
Yeah,
phenomenal video.
I really like it. I mean, if I were to add anything, I would. I mean, it's good as it is, but a part of me still wants to have like some information in there, like whether it's going to be a floppy versus a perfect bound, how many pages it is, who the talent is, that kind of stuff. But it's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun, and it's got several transitions that I'm not used to seeing, or that I don't see in other media, or I haven't seen in other videos, which is pretty sweet.
Awesome.
Uh,
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I agree with the voiceover and stuff like that. I thought about doing it, but I decided against it.
Well, I mean, it doesn't even have to necessarily be a voiceover. It can actually be just text as part of the. It can transition to text towards the end.
Right. Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea.
Giving some basic stats on the book, not overloaded, just some basics: number of pages, perfect bound versus floppy, who's the writer, artist, colorist, letterer. No, that stuff before the very end panel that says "Back us now" on Indiegogo. But it's pretty darn cool, and I love the music. Oh man,
Yeah,
I love westerns.
Yeah, dude, westerns are pretty cool.
Oh man, so cool. So it says that you are 62% funded so far.
Yeah, we only have 38 left to go. It's awesome. It's it's definitely been a journey. I've still got about 12 days left, and we need about, I think it's what is it, 18-ish, a little over about 1850, just shy. I think of 18. I'm not a math guy. I'm a writer. I don't. No, it's getting there. It's getting there. So we still need a little bit of a push, but I'm optimistic that we'll get there.
1868, about 1,818 roughly, to hitting the goal. And 82 backers already. That's pretty sweet. 3,132 USD. So it is making some traction, which is nice.
Yeah.
And
I think my biggest problem was launching in November. I've talked to a lot of people, and they've said that is not the prime time to launch. In fact, it's the opposite of prime time. It's like the worst possible time to launch. So I'm actually pretty happy with how it's gone, considering. But you live and you learn,
Yeah. I mean, people do say that, and I guess the biggest part is people are ramping up for Christmas and end of the year, expenses and whatnot. But sometimes if the property is strong, if the idea, the story is strong, and the artwork looks great, then I think to a certain degree that can overcome obstacles like going live on your campaign in the November, December, January months.
Right. It has definitely been a bit of a journey. Like I said, it's getting there. But yeah, it's definitely done a lot better than I thought it was gonna do. Considering I thought it was gonna be a lot slower at the beginning.
Mm.
I started off pretty strong with I think 1500 is what I got on day one.
Ooh.
So I'm yeah, exactly. I'm not complaining at all. I'm incredibly proud of this campaign. I'm incredibly thankful for the people who have backed it so far. There's nothing but awesome people, out there, and it's awesome to see how willing people are to go out and support a book, with somebody who's not that well known, and I'm a kid with a dream, and I think that this, I think that it's awesome, the people that have turned out, and I'm really optimistic that we're gonna still keep kicking ass all the way to the end.
Oh yeah, for sure. Welcome, Love Pigeon. Another stream. Cool. Yeah. This is going off on a mini tangent. Yeah, this is the last one of tonight, and then tomorrow, Friday, I've got 3 streams, and the last stream is going to be a long one. That because we're closing out Hex Allen's book.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's going to be a good book.
Balzette says, "Poor timing." Face palm, man. Yeah, yeah. So this campaign here, you're at 12 days left. Can you refresh my memory? Are you at the end of the first 30 days funding, into the second 30 days funding, or did you do a whole 60 days and you're at the final 12 days of it?
I'm at the final 12 days of the 60 day.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So we're winding down.
Yeah, seriously. And you can't go in demand unless you're fully funded.
Exactly.
How did you? Well, let's see. So the $5,000 fixed goal, that I presume is for the since you're doing the story. Is Passion doing the pencils, inks, colors, and lettering?
I'm doing the story and the lettering.
Oh,
he
right.
is doing the pencils and the inking, and Eugene Bative he's doing work on I think Magicop 2, but he also colored Magicop 1, and he colored the I think Joe Ball portions of the Lost Pages as well. So he's worked pretty close with Zaid Comics, with the Diaz brothers. Yeah, he's done all the pages that are on the campaign so far. He's colored those. The only thing that he hasn't colored, I think, is the Preston Acevedo, the back cover of the book. That's the only thing not colored by him. Also, the front cover of the book is hand painted by Passion. So those are the only 2 pieces. Everything else is Eugene.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so I presume the 5,000, and I think you might have already covered it at the bottom of the campaign page, covers cost of the talent, obviously.
Yeah, I'm not making anything off of this.
Yeah, and shipping and fulfillment.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all going to Passion and Eugene for the most part.
Gotcha.
Everything else is going to printing and shipping and printing materials. So, yeah.
What was the decision for making it a fixed goal versus a flexible goal?
Well, I know with a flexible goal, you basically, you can go however far you want, and wherever it ends, and you just, I guess, pocket the money. And I know that there's been a lot of people that have come by, and they've kind of screwed with ComicsGate and ruined a lot of reputations and stuff like that. And I don't want to be one of those guys. I don't want to come off like I'm here to just do a cash grab and leave. I just want I want to do the book, and I want to be able to afford to do the book and actually get it printed, made, sent out to people, and I want people to have faith that I'm not just gonna take the money and run, so to speak. If this campaign doesn't fund, it all gets refunded. That's just the way it is. It sucks, sometimes campaigns don't get funded, and that's just the way it is. But I'm gonna be coming back if I don't get funded, and I'm gonna be fighting for another campaign. You guys are definitely, one way or the other, I'm getting Grave Robbers out there, but I'd like to get it out this time.
Yeah.
That's the goal. That's what I want to do. But
I totally understand and respect, acknowledging that there are creators out there who go with the flexible and pocket the money in the end. But if done right, I guess, the way it's intended, some creators will, work with the existing backers, even though it's not fully funded, and, come to either a consensus or a middle ground. And, the creator finds out from the backers what they recommend. And in some cases, regardless if they have the ability to do so, then they'll fulfill to the backers who did back it, even though it didn't get fully funded.
Right.
But you have to actually have the ability to complete the book in the first place.
Right.
But
that's my problem, is, most of everything that I've paid for, all of everything that you see on the campaign, the pages, the inks, the colors, even the trading card art, the rear cover art, those are all commissions and stuff like that. I've paid out of pocket for that. I'm going to be paying out of pocket for a lot of this stuff. Even with the campaign being fulfilled at $5,000, I'm still going to be paying extra out of pocket on top of that. Which I don't mind. I'm not complaining about. If 5,000 is all I get, 5,000 is all I'm getting. It's not about the money. It's about making a comic that people are going to enjoy and people are going to love. And at the end of the day, it's also it's a fulfillment of a lifelong dream for me. I've loved comics since I was a kid, and being able to put something out that has my name on it that I can be proud of is something that I really aspire to do. So when it comes to this, one way or the other, I'm getting Grave Robbers made. It doesn't matter how it gets made, it's getting made. If I gotta pay Passion, a week at a time, to get a page done, that's what it is. But one way or the other, Grave Robbers is gonna come out, and people are gonna love it. It's a phenomenal book. It's a hell of a lot of fun. We had fun making it. And if I don't get funded this time, that's a shame. I'll be pretty disappointed about it, but I'm not gonna take it lying down, man. Get back up on the horse. But I'm getting funded. So
hell yeah. We'll do what we can, do our part to get this fully funded as well. Where was I going with that? Let's see, 12 days. I mean, it's definitely still doable.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. We're only about, what did you say it was? 1868.
I think it was 1,818.
There you go.
68. Yeah.
It's totally doable. I have a lot of optimism. I have a lot of faith that this is going to be pulled off. We have some bigger ticket items that I'm hoping people might take an interest in. We've got pages for sale, original pages.
Oh man, I love original art.
Yeah, dude. They're 11 by 17 is what I think they're drawn. There's no shipping on it, so if shipping's going to be an issue, there's no shipping on the pages.
Wow.
Yeah, and if you want that and you want a book, there's also the add-on perk for the book. So if you buy a page and you want it to come with your order, you can do the add-on to add a book onto your original page.
Oh, good.
So,
All right.
Yeah.
I like having add-ons enabled because it makes it easier to get as all the parts you want out of a campaign in one fell swoop, or as close to it as possible, without having to go through the entire campaign and do multiple separate backings and potentially face excessive shipping costs.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not cheap. It's shipping is not cheap, and
No, it's not.
yeah, I've learned that pretty clearly doing a campaign. But that said, people, I understand, people kind of balk at the idea of paying, an enormous amount of shipping. So with the pages being expensive as they are already, I was like, okay, well, you know what? Let's just let's shave a little bit off of this if we can for people. I want to get something out to people that people are going to love, and I don't want them to be feeling like they're overpaying or getting kind of the raw end of a deal. So they're the original pages. We have 6 of them. They're 200 pages a piece, and there also is a double page spread that is 500. 500.
Wow.
Also, no shipping on that as well.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna eat the shipping. Shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat the shipping. I just want to I just want to get it out there and get it into people's hands, man.
My goodness. More power to you.
At the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about making a product that people love and that people can appreciate and enjoy. And if I can make somebody, if I can have somebody enjoy something that passion and I have created with the pages, that that's fulfillment enough for me. The shipping costs be damned. At the end of the day, it's about the backer and it's about the reader.
Yeah. Do you see? This is kind of funny. After we finished watching the trailer, recommended one of the recommended things is grave robbers.
Yeah, that's when I went on Drawing Aces with Passion and Edwin Acevedo. They picked John Candy because apparently it looks like me, and I didn't find that very funny. But but I wasn't the one that picked the picture, so.
So in their thumbnail, they tried to find something that looked like you.
No, they were messing with me.
Oh,
he keeps calling it a self-insert book, and it's just, I don't know. It's kind of a joke between everybody, so we just kind of laugh about it. Yeah, that's how it is. You take pot shots, and you poke and prod at people, and it's just a little bit of fun. It's like your intro when Mark called you the clone of
Pizza Medi.
Yeah, exactly. It's something like that. Apparently, I'm the failed clone of John Candy, which is just horrifying to think about. I don't think I am. I think I'm a good-looking guy, but apparently, I don't get to decide that. So.
It's always fun to have a game of people you can razz with.
Yeah. I just gotta roll with it, man. It's a good time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They're good guys.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the fun of it all.
Yeah, exactly.
So on this, if you were to come up with, say, a percentage of roughly how far the production is on this book, could you come up with a percentage?
As far as the actual art is concerned, I'd say that we're about halfway there, maybe a little somewhere around 50%. It's all of the pages are essentially done. Like me and Passion went down and went page by page, planning out panels, planning out the art. It's just a matter of me paying him for each page, and then he'll finish them and ink them. That's essentially what it is. It's they're essentially in some sort of kind of how do I put it? It's they're all planned out. Everything's planned out. It's just that they need to be completed and inked. And
It's
then
kinda-
what's
is,
that?
is it kind of like rough draft?
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you. I couldn't get it out. Just for
Right.
some reason in my head, I couldn't put it to words.
So it's planned out. It's kind of roughly sketched, so you can see like the angle, the direction of the light,
Right.
and you know who's going to be in the panel and things like that.
Yeah, it's all of that's planned out. We've actually planned out like the where each speech bubble is going to go.
Oh wow!
It's we're pretty far along. It's just a matter of getting them paid for and getting them finished and then getting them colored. The coloring doesn't take Eugene's pretty quick about that. We can knock those out pretty damn quick. It's just a matter of, like I said, getting funded and getting it out there. Once we're all good to go.
You're the storyteller. Did you, in addition to the fact that you've been writing all your life, did you actually take additional courses to like supplement your skill set?
In college, I took a couple of English classes because they were required, but there was one particular professor that I talked to a lot, and she and I got to talking about fiction and stuff like that. I took another class on fiction writing. I've read a couple of books on how to write, how to stuff like that. This actually, what I did with this was before I wrote this, I was reading a book on screenplays, and I had read, or no, it was an interview with Kevin Smith, and it was an interview of Stan Lee by Kevin Smith. There we go. I had to plan that sentence out. But yeah, he was being interviewed by him, and he was asking him questions and stuff like that. And one of the things was like, how did you come up with the stories and stuff? How did you write them? And Stan Lee basically had told him that they had written them like movies. Like I guess they were all pretty big movie fans. Jack Kirby was a big fan of like what was his name? Vincent Price. When you look at Doctor Strange, when you look at the visual, like the aesthetics of Doctor Strange is heavily based on Vincent Price, and you kind of pick up on that. So what they would do, I guess, is they would kind of go with like this movie kind of flow. So I was like, okay, well, let me check out like a screenplay book, and see what the movies are written like, and stuff like that.
Right.
So I had this idea that I would write the scripts a lot like them. So I started I read I think 2 books on that, and I also went to a couple of websites to look at how professional comic book scripts were written, and I kind of worked them together to try to give it more of a kind of a movie almost feel, where it would have that kind of descriptive nature to it. Yeah, and it was, I think it turned out well. Me and Passion, we kind of butted heads on a few things. Not like, it wasn't like he wanted to do something and I didn't want to do something, or vice versa. We weren't like fighting about something, but it was just like, I think that he wasn't really understanding some of the stuff that I was saying, and I don't think that I was understanding what he was wanting me to, like how he was wanting me to write it. So like I had the full script already written, and he was reading through it and be like, I don't know what you're trying to say here. So I would have to like break it down a little bit for him.
Okay.
So yeah, it was just kind of those kind of things, just minor things, but it wasn't too bad. It was just a few pages and stuff here and there where we had to tweak, I guess. It was my first script, so yeah.
Cool.
I guess a lot of writers will tell him basically, draw this, and he'll do that, and I'm like, okay, and then let's just move on. Whereas I have like a half a paragraph written. It's like,
well, yeah, I mean,
Nick enters the bar. Yeah, it's just shit like that.
Yeah, right. Creators, writers, storytellers, they're all going to have their own style. And some will write it like a script. Some will have all explicit detail in every little aspect, while others will give the artist like a general broad description of what's going on in this panel.
Right.
So, yeah, I guess it's just a matter of finding whatever fits the needs of the dynamic between writer and artist.
Yeah, well, the thing that I think really, really sold it for Passion in terms of actually sitting and writing was like we would sit and we would just kind of talk and just hang out while he would draw stuff. Like I would sit and I would talk to him and I would tell him this stuff and he would just kind of draw it, and it was like what I was saying was just being put right onto the paper. And like with Richard, he was the first person to draw Richard. And, I was like, okay, well, he's going to have kind of this dark man look where he's got a trench coat, but it's not going to be like, it's going to be like a medieval kind of thing. And, he's going to have these gloves and he's going to have this wrap and these goggles. And like, he would just start drawing and start sketching. And by the time, like, halfway through my description, he'd have half of the character kind of drawn out. And I'm like, wow, it's exactly what I was thinking. Like it's like he pulled it right out of my head, and it just, it really was like it was incredible. There are pages of the book where he gets it exactly what I like was thinking, and exactly what I was trying to get across. It was awesome. Like he was awesome to work with, and it was a lot of fun. And we would joke and shit while we were. That's really what I think made the comic book special, was like the jokes that we would put in there. Then the pages that are actually on, and the pages that were actually on the campaign, you can actually see one of the jokes. Hail Edwin, he's in the chat. Yeah, so
Hail.
Yeah, so like I was saying, I lost my train of thought. Where was it? Oh, right. Yeah, Darkman was very cool. That was an awesome movie. I love Darkman. Hell yeah, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Ka. Yeah, so oh yeah, on the page, if you look, one of the pages, Amanda Lynn jams her hand through the back of this dude's head through his eye holes. And yeah, I think it's on the second page that you see. Yeah, right there. She takes her fingers and she stabs through this guy's head, and you can see one of the eyes is caught on her finger. And if you look on the next page, when she pulls her hand through, you can just make it out on her middle finger, like she's flipping everybody off in the bar. On her middle finger is that same eye. It's fun shit like that. Like we had so much fun making this book. It was so much fun. Like we were just sitting and we're joking, like, all right, well, how is she gonna kill him? And it's like, okay, well, this is what I had planned out, this is what I wrote out. And he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna do this, he's setting the page up, and I'm he's like, what if she stabs through his head? And I'm like, well, what if it's on like on the next page? I was like, okay, well, what if the eyeball's on the middle finger? And she's just like, that's funny as hell. So we just started, and it's just, it was like back and forth. He'd make a joke and we'd put it in the book, and it's stuff like that. And I think that people are going to pick up on little tiny details like that, like the redheaded guy down in the corner on that page. He's actually not even like a major character in this book, but he's going to appear in a bunch of different books. Like he's going to have a storyline way in the future, like issue 10 or something like that. And this is issue 1, but like issue 10, he's going to be part of like his own story. Like it's a whole different story. His name's Jacob, and he has nothing to do with Welcome to Hellhole. He has his own story. I think I've called it Magic Man or something like that. It's going to be fun. I don't want to give anything away because I don't have any. It's several issues down the road, but it's just fun little stuff like that I think people are going to be like, well, who's that, or what's this, what's going on there? Fun little jokes and inside things like that. It's a cool book. It's a cool book. We had a lot of fun making it.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. I mean, it's almost like it's got a touch of camp to it.
Yeah.
And that's, believe it or not, one of the things, even since I'm not a huge horror fan, it's kind of what appealed to me about like Nightmare on Elm Street and
right.
Friday the 13th, just the outrageousness of it all.
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
and found it entertaining.
Well, that's the thing is, I was raised with those kinds of movies, and I was raised with like Sam Raimi, for example, is a huge influence on me. I'm a big fan of Sam Raimi. Obviously, when you look at Darkman, Darkman was written, I think, and directed by Sam Raimi. The Evil Dead series, obviously. Drag Me to Hell was a great movie. I love Drag Me to Hell. And all of them are just over the top and ridiculous and hyper, But you look at like the Spider-Man movies that he did. Spider-Man 2 has a horror element to it with Dr. Octopus, Doc Ock. And he like with the scene where like they're trying to operate and like the arms come alive and like she's being pulled away, like the nurse is being pulled away and you see a fingernail come off. And it's just like those little moments where it's like, oh my gosh. It's a lot of fun, and I wanted to put that in the book. Like I wanted to bring that kind of energy in the book, and I think I did all right with it. And I think Passion did amazing drawing it. So
I think on that scene even that you described with the woman being dragged by Doc Ock's arm, that if you look closely, I think there are actually like scrape marks in the floor.
There are, yeah, there are.
Man.
Yeah, it's rough, man. But it's fun and it captivates you. Like it's like, oh my gosh, that's terrifying.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
It did take that dark turn for sure. And that's part of what was cool about that origin in that movie.
Yeah, but it still had campiness to it. Like Spider-Man, all three of those movies had like a lot of campiness to them. And I think that's what makes them stand out among all of the other Spider-Man movies. But I'll talk for an hour about that. But but
the Shazam movie caught a lot of flack, but I actually enjoyed it.
I did too, actually.
And that one scene in the boardroom. Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen it, where the main baddie uses his powers and sends the guy out the window.
Yeah.
So the skyscraper is like, wow, shit just got real.
Well, that's the kind of villain that you want. Like you want a guy who's not afraid to, do horrible things. But at the same time, with a movie like that, you want to be able to also lighten it up a bit. But, the guys at Red Letter Media, they did a review of Shazam, and they talk about that a little bit, how it has this fun campiness to it, but it also brings in this element of horror. The director of Shazam was also a horror. I think he did what was the name of those movies? He has a series of movies, I can't remember the name of them, that he actually did before he did Shazam. And he brought elements of horror into the movie, which I think makes it it makes it better, because the villains are real and they are terrifying.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're a kid, they're terrifying, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't even think they'd go that far.
Yeah.
And Shazam, because it seemed like they were going to take a really campy, fun take on it.
Right.
Throughout the whole movie, but I'm glad they went the route they did.
Definitely.
A fatality.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yep.
Jacob, noping out of hell.
Noping out of hell. Exactly.
Welcome, squad leader in Bowsette.
Yeah, definitely.
Nightmare on Elm Street, thumbs up.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Great movie series. Great movie series.
Yeah, pretty cool indeed. You got some good art here. It's pretty.
Yeah. Passion did a hell of a job, man. I'm a huge fan of his work. He did Doom Fate, which looks amazing. He's done some work for Raging Golden Eagle on his campaign, which again, that stuff looks fantastic. But this stuff really it just stands out, in my opinion, as some of his best work that he's done. I'm a huge fan of his work, but this stuff is just he's really stepped it up for this, and I think that I don't know. I think people are going to be really impressed with some of the other stuff that we've got. These are fantastic pages, but there are some more that are just even better. There's one page where Richard is kind of revealed. A little bit of his past is kind of revealed, and it's really cool. It's just really cool. Yeah, so people are gonna really enjoy this. I think people are gonna love it, man. People are gonna really love the artwork.
Yeah, so you get the Rotting Golem trading card for those backers in the first 30 days.
Right. Yeah.
John Joseph Ball.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he did a great job on this. You look at the arm, how it's kind of coming apart from the rest of the arm, like his right arm.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm sorry, is that
Or left arm?
No, that'd be his left arm. Yeah, but it's kind of coming off there. It's yeah, like he put some detail into this, man. It looks phenomenal. I'm really proud of it.
And then you got the wanted posters. Yeah, with any Western, you got to have wanted posters.
Definitely. And Passion did these too. He did a great job with them. There's going to be on the trading cards for each individual character. There's going to be a miniature version on the back. There's going to be a little miniature description and like a header for the name, and then there's going to be a quote from the character with a little miniature wanted poster under the quote or above.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I wanted to bring those in. So I think people are going to enjoy that.
On the back sides of these cards, is it going to also indicate, what issue their first appearance was in?
Yeah, I think it is actually. I'd have to look, but I believe I do put that information in there. So
cool. Yeah, I like when the extra swag includes that kind of information so you can reference back easily.
Yeah, that's something that I always loved about trading cards was reading the little blurb on the back, a little bit of backstory, a little bit of information, comic book like references to go back and check out.
Sure. You know what? I'm kind of embarrassed because for the life of me, despite my being a huge fan of dad jokes and and puns and funny things in the English language, I did not make the connection of Amanda Lynn being mandolin. I mean, it like passed right over my head.
Yeah, no, it's okay. With the Zaid brothers, the Diaz brothers, their comic company, Zaid Comics. It took me, I think, 2 months to realize that was Diaz backwards.
Oh,
so don't feel bad. It took me a little bit too sometimes.
I learned about that simply by listening in on different streams.
Oh yeah, there you go.
People actually brought it up, so that's how I learned about it.
Yeah, I was looking at that one day and I was like, Zaid. Oh, it's Diaz. Oh wow, that took me way too long to figure that out.
Yeah, it probably did the same for me. It probably did the same for me because I just thought it was an interesting name.
Yeah,
I thought it was made up. So
yeah, that's what I thought too. That's what I thought originally, and then it just kind of clicked one day, and I was like, "Oh,
Wayland Louder."
Yep,
that's like wailing, WAILING, louder, as in volume.
Right.
Oh my gosh, I missed that one too.
Richard doesn't have one, so you don't have to worry about that. But he is also named. Big Dick Murphy and him are both named Richard, which is kind of that kind of plays into a little bit. I like to do a lot of the there's a Carl Jung does a book about archetypes, character archetypes, and obviously Big Dick is a hero, but Richard would kind of be his shadow in that regard. I don't know if you're familiar with the archetypes, but the idea basically is that every major story in history has had these archetypes, and with Big Dick, he personifies one, and then with Richard, he kind of is like almost a mirror of him in a lot of ways. So where Big Dick is this rage monster, Richard also kills people, but he does it as an enjoyment out of like a resentment. There's a lot of depth to the characters that I don't just put out there because I want people to kind of pick up on it as they read it, and I think it gives the story flavor. But yeah, like there's an element of an element of mirroring between the two characters that I think people are gonna like. Yeah.
And as you've been working on this book, do you actually have an editor, or is Passion acting as editor to double check for spelling or grammatical errors, things like that, or do you basically reread your same content yourself over and over?
Passion kind of acted like the editor in a lot of ways. He would read the script and he'd say, well, this is what works, this is what doesn't work. I almost probably should list him, like give him an editor credit, because we would go through the book and that would happen, but he didn't go through like the dialogue or anything like that. That's me going back and double checking spelling and grammatical errors and everything. That's true. It would cast a shadow.
Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you so much for joining us, Love Pigeon.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's good having you. It's good seeing you in the chat.
What a trooper. Thanks for hanging with us. Appreciate
Definitely.
You must be in the UK. 5 hours ahead of East Coast. Yep. Take care. Appreciate you coming. Yeah. Wow, that's a beautiful pick.
Yeah, that was by Preston Acevedo. He did an incredible job on this. The colors are by oh man, his name is just falling out of my head. Pace. Pace.
Richard Pace? No.
Oh, what is it? Hold on. I don't know how I've forgotten his name. I say it all the time. Oliver Lee Pace. Jeez, I don't know why I forgot his name. I feel awful. He did such an incredible job. He took what was, an incredible job by Preston, and just it would make an incredible tattoo. Bazrat just posted that. But it's phenomenal. Like he did an incredible job. Not only she's got like a sex appeal to her, she's got some hips. But I mean, she is just she is just waiting to slash somebody up. And I love the image. I can't get enough of it. It's going to be on the back cover of the book. So, you can flip that around and, just enjoy the work. Also, there's, I have a Redbubble where you can buy this as a poster. That's MF Comics on Redbubble. So
does it go redbubble.com/
I think it's /people/MF Comics. I think it's on my profile on Twitter. Yeah. I have not had a ton of experience with the store. So for some reason, it seems like it comes up as random. But if you click on Shop All Products, that's for some reason it just randomizes. So if you go back,
that's a bummer.
Yeah, I don't understand how they do this. Like if you go back one, and then you go down to under her, but it says Shop All Products under her image.
Oh,
yeah. I know, right? It's not intuitive at all. But yeah, you can get it as a T-shirt, you can get it as a sticker, a poster. If you have an iPhone, you can get it as a case. I think there's even a metal poster. There's some cool stuff on there.
Usually with these kinds of websites, you have the ability to make minor adjustments depending on the format of the product you're putting it on. So you can drag your image to a more suitable spot so that you can see the entire character.
The problem is that sometimes it doesn't show you that there's a problem, like with her part of her head being cut off there.
Yeah,
with the Galaxy skin.
Yeah,
it's like it didn't show me that when it was. I just kind of.
That's so strange.
Yeah, see, there's a canvas, there's an art print, there's a framed art, which is absurdly expensive in my opinion. But if that's what you're into, with the metal print, that's pretty cool. It's again, it's pretty expensive, but the art print isn't too bad. It's less than $20, and the photographic print I think is 7. Yeah, 7. It's like 680 then. But it's cool, and if you like stickers, I think those are only a couple of bucks. So
Yeah, that's an awful big white border.
yeah, I don't know. They offered it, and I was just like, all right, that sounds cool. I didn't know how much it was going to be, but
Yeah, I mean that's not my style, but
the regular poster is 15 if that's more your style. Like you can get a magnet. I didn't even know I selected magnet, but there you go. It's stuff like that. They're pretty big. They're pretty solid. You can get it's about 2 by 3 feet. The great thing about these is that you can get it in your hands quick, and it's with a lot of these campaigns, they have this thing where it's like, okay, you have a poster, but it's incredibly expensive, and it won't be at your door for like 5 months. With Redbubble, I'm able to just put it on there. It's relatively cheap, for something online, and you're able to get it. I think this says January 18th, so we're between the 20th and the 21st, so it'd be within the month. So there's that. It's just stuff like that. I think it's a nice little. Exactly, Edwin. Get that sweet merch. But it's it's something you can get in your hands really quickly, and I like that. Again, it's all about the backers. At the end of the day, like this doesn't help my campaign, so it doesn't like boost the numbers on my campaign. But it's something that gets into your hands quick.
The way I see it, any kind of merch that people buy, especially things that can be displayed out in public, like hoodies, t-shirts, things like that. When people are out and about, that's like literal advertising for you.
Absolutely, yeah.
That can eventually come back to people will go, "Hey, that's a freaking cool shirt. Where'd you get it?" And then go, "Oh, Grave Robbers merch store. Be sure and back the campaign."
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely, man. That's what I'm looking for. I bought a hoodie, and they're nice. If you're into the shirts and stuff like that, there's some really nice shirts there.
I'm big into t-shirts, and I was trying to see if you might have a movie size poster, which is 24 by 36. That one's almost that size.
I think that art print might be big enough, or the photographic might be, but I don't.
This is a canvas print too.
Yeah, that one's pretty small.
24 by 32. Oh,
it's pretty big. That's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Does it come with that? Is it printed on like a larger piece, or is this just like an example frame or something?
It should be all the way to the edges. Let me double check. I don't know if it should be sized correctly. So it might be like a border. What does it say under the features?
Gallery grade prints on high quality paper. This is the real deal. Lightly textured 100% cotton paper. Custom sizes based on artwork dimensions.
Okay. There it is. Dimensions include a 1 to 2 inch white border to assist in framing. I panicked for a second there because I was like, oh no, did I upload the wrong this whole time? But no, it comes with a white border.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. That made me panic for a second.
Yeah, I mean the frames I use are really among the cheapest around. It's like I don't know if they're technically metal or if they're just plastic, but you know how you have those black thin borders on all 4 sides, and then you just put on each side one at a time?
Right. Yeah, I've got a couple of those.
Yeah, that's the kind I use because I'm cheap.
Hey, they're not cheap. I get it. Yeah, I go cheap, man.
And it has a nice clean look to it. And I have no need or use for huge freaking wooden borders.
Yeah, I get that. I've got a couple of those same exact ones. I have some Dynamic Forces posters that I've gotten over the years. I have one called Marvel Millennium Moments, which that was a gift from my dad, and it is not cheap, and it's a beautiful poster. But it's definitely an expensive one. So I got a frame for that. But some of the less expensive ones, I've kind of I went with the cheapo kind of thing that you were talking about, because it is it's just cheaper. I don't need it. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it really is awesome. It's a phenomenal piece. I'm really happy that I went with Preston with it. Preston and Oliver.
Yeah, I love Preston's work.
Yeah.
Is Oliver like Preston's go-to colorist, or did you find Oliver separately?
No, he suggested that I go with Oliver.
Oh,
I guess he had him in mind when he was drawing it. So, and I do not regret at all taking him up on that, because it is phenomenal. He did a great job.
Hell yeah. It's a great collaboration. The Amanda pick would make an epic tattoo. Yeah.
It would. It really would. I've thought about getting a couple. Some of the art on this campaign, I've actually thought about getting tattoos of. I have a Captain America tattoo on my shoulder, or on my arm. I'm sorry, but I thought about getting the Grave Robbers logo with the skull on my shoulder. Like, I've thought about getting like a 4x5 of that and then getting it on my shoulder. But that Amanda tattoo, that'd look really good on like a forearm or something like that.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It looks sick.
The Captain America one you have on your, do you say shoulder?
On my upper arm.
Oh, upper arm?
Yeah, like right above my bicep.
Is it his shield, or is it actually Captain America himself?
It's just the shield.
Okay.
I actually found I went to a tattoo artist I used to live in Daytona Beach.
All right.
And I went to this tattoo artist, and we were sitting and just kind of talking about what I'd like. And I was like, I like this Captain America shield, and I'd like this shine on it. And we kind of hunted for some images, and she drew it up for me. And, it took a couple, maybe 2 hours. And, I mean, it looked phenomenal. And, it's one of those things that I'm actually pretty proud of. I show that off when I can. It's cool.
Yeah. Love Pigeon says, I'm CGUK. You want me to take that award back?
Award?
No.
Did he give you an award?
Yeah. Believe it or not, CGUK had like an awards show, and I somehow won best soundtrack. There was quite a debate, and I have this segment on my channel called Tone Deaf Asian Sings. And so, as kind of a release from all the drama in the world and all the politics and stuff, I like to sing aloud.
Yeah.
Sing in the shower, all that kind of stuff. Do karaoke. So I started just singing more or less a cappella without being fancy.
Okay.
Without any fancy dressing on the videos. Not even filming myself singing, just my voice. And I somehow beat out 6 a.m. Comics doing a rap.
Doing a rap.
Yeah. And then I also beat out Cecil, I think he was being dressed as Robbie Rectum.
Robbie Rectum.
And I think he might have been singing, I don't remember what song he was singing. But somehow I got awarded the distinction of, best soundtrack by CGUK.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's why I changed my Twitter handle. Well, not my handle, but my Twitter title, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
And it now reads CGUK Isolation Celebration Award winner, WyzGyz Entertainment.
You gonna?
You're speechless. I can
Yeah.
get that sweet merch.
Yeah.
Balzette is asking, is Amanda a polymorph, like a skinwalker, or does she just summon spirits?
No, actually, she doesn't do either of those. I could see how you could get that with the spirits behind her. That's just kind of to illustrate her Native American kind of background. Um, her mother abandoned her when she was a baby, and when she was born with these claws and red eyes, red and purple eyes, and a mouthful of teeth and stuff like that. So um, she kind of just abandoned her, and after being raised in a kind of an orphanage kind of situation under in a church, she ran away and ended up taken up with some Sioux Indians for a long time. So she did that until she was about 17, maybe 16. I'd have to look at my notes, but she just has this a rich Native American background because she was kind of raised by them from a very young age. So in the book, you'll see her wear a lot of silver and turquoise jewelry. She has the Native American braids. She wears like the leathers that they wear and stuff like that. So she has this pretty heavily Native American background, but she you kind of put like totems on there. She actually her real powers are like she can teleport through like space. So when she kind of moves through, like kind of almost like Nightcrawler. She's in a lot of ways her powers are like X-23 meets Nightcrawler kind of thing. Or maybe Sabretooth is more accurate because she has more of like the clawed hands instead of like the extendable claws. So yeah, I'd say she's a lot like that, but with a personality instead of just being angry or silent like X-23 or Sabretooth.
Right. Yeah. Not a silent beast at all.
Right, exactly. She's actually very well spoken, which I thought was fun.
The only awards that needs to be taken back are for The Last of Us 2. Hell yeah. That was ultra virtue signaling.
Man, you wanna talk about like getting robbed? It's just like that was. I cannot believe that game won a single award without it being bought and paid for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It tanked so bad, man.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe that. I don't know. I'm still angry about that, but man. Yeah, that I loved Last of Us. I thought that was a really great game, and to see it, the sequel just marred into what that mess was. I refused to buy it. Like I refused to buy that game.
Yeah, and the early reviews and the feedback from gamers who got the game first, man, it quickly spread like wildfire how bad it was.
I don't understand how they thought that would be a good idea. Yeah. I really don't.
Yeah. I mean,
they had a guaranteed hit.
Yeah, seriously.
It would have made millions. People loved that game. I loved that game.
It's like they were pulling a Ryan Johnson, subverting expectations.
Yeah, well, they definitely subverted expectations in that regard. They people wanted a good game and they were given a bad game. So
yeah, I mean, especially like they also subverted people's money.
Yeah, that's very true too.
And
their wallets to their pockets.
Man, Wonder Woman 1984 is experiencing something similar.
Talk about some franchises that just shoot themselves in the foot, man.
Yeah.
I still haven't watched it yet, but I have heard nothing but bad about Wonder Woman 1984. Nothing but bad.
I still sort of want to see it, but I don't want to pay for it.
I was a big fan of the first one. I thought that it was really good. I thought they did a great job balancing the she was a very hopeful person, and she was all like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do it, and then she goes to the battlefield and like she's just this like shining goddess almost. And like it was brilliant because she was standing there like in this shimmering, colorful outfit, and she's just surrounded by gray mud. It's like it was just an incredible contrast, and like I was just watching that, going, "Wow, what an incredible vision that this director has." And then I see this new movie is like all virtue signaling, and it's just like, come on. Like,
Mhm.
what are you doing?
Yeah, so many problems with WW 1984. The shirt on my avatar says "fuck Nutty Dog." Out of curiosity, is that kind of based on Jeremy Griggs from Geeks and Gamers, who often ended his videos and streams with "fuck Nutty Dog"? Fuck Nutty Dog. Regulars are weird.
Yeah, well, you know.
Man.
No, but that's Anthem 1984.
Oh. Isn't Anthem the name of a video game? I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think it is. I know that there's the
Oh. Isn't it the one that was released on the Xbox that had all this promotion, all these ads, but it didn't really take off? It wasn't really.
was that the Bungie game?
I think the Bungie one is Destiny.
I know. Yeah, I knew they did Destiny. I knew they were.
I didn't
Is it
think they were.
4-3? Did they try to make another one?
I'm not sure. I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was based. I don't think it was a Bungie product. Well, maybe. I don't know.
I don't remember. I just knew it was made by some studio. I for some reason I thought it was Bungie. I don't know why I thought it was Bungie.
All I remember is that anytime I saw an ad, it just bored me to tears.
Yeah, I wasn't super. I never played it, so.
Right, me either. Ah, cool. Yeah, it makes sense. It's an Arcade Outpost shirt.
There you go.
Cool. Yeah, pretty fun.
Right on.
Let's see here. Stretch goals 5,000. Now, pronounce it for me again.
Richard.
Richard.
Well, the T is silent, so Richard.
Richard. Oh, kind of like French. All right.
Yeah, he was a crusader, a French crusader during the 12th century. He's something like 611 years old.
Oh.
He, after the Crusades and everything, if you're familiar at all with the Knights Templar and their history, he was one of the Knights Templar, and he goes back to Jerusalem, or I'm sorry, not Jerusalem. He goes back to France, and basically Louis the 14th killed all of the Templars, and only a few survived and were able to flee, and he was one of them. And he fled all the way to, I almost said Latveria, Lithuania. It was one of the only bastions of non-Christian Europe left. So that's why he went there, where he kind of falls in with a satanic cult. They worship demons and stuff like that. And, he kind of becomes their leader. And around the 18th century, when the whole New World thing kind of starts becoming big, he leads his cult into what now is in the story, what is the Old West, and kind of starts to cultivate, this group. And that's kind of what the grave robbers run into, is this, he and the cult are also in the town with similar interests to their own. So, and they butt heads pretty badly. So, yeah, it's gonna be cool. I think it's gonna be. I think people are gonna really like that, man. It's a lot of violence. It's a lot of fantastic violence. good family fun violence, and I think people are gonna love it.
Family fun violence. All backers will receive a Richard trading card with their books.
Yep.
7,500 mark is Grave Robbers skull sticker. Right. That's the logo, right?
Yeah, that's the Grave Robbers logo with the skull. It's fantastic. I was gonna get I think a 4x5 is what that's gonna be. It's yeah, it's gonna be a pretty solid sticker. It's gonna be the best quality I can get, and yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool.
Have you chosen a sticker place already?
I'm not landed on anything just yet. I have 2 or 3 in mind that I plan on. I'm also going to be getting little stickers about an inch in length. I'm probably going to include not only one of those with the book, but I'm also going to close the bag and board. I'm going to seal it with one of those stickers.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a cute idea.
So not only will you get the sticker, but you'll also get one on the back of your book, and on top of that, you'll get, if we hit 7,500, you'll get the full size Grave Robber sticker. So
All right.
yeah, so some free stuff going on there, some extra free stuff that's a little bit of a surprise. So
Yeah, 10K Road to Hellhole short story. 5
right.
pages short story will be added, boosting the total page count to 41 pages.
Right. So there's going to be some extra pages. There's going to be a title page, a thank you page, preview page, maybe. It's just some extra stuff. So it has to be like a divisible by 44, or I'm sorry, it has to be divisible by 4. So there's 3 extra pages essentially. So, it just adds like that. So the actual book page total would be 44 in that case, but. You see what I'm saying. So.
All right. And then 15K False Dichotomy short story.
Yeah, I wrote a 3-page short story for Future Shock for 2000 AD and forgot to submit it. So it's just kind of sitting in an envelope in my room or in my office. And I have done absolutely nothing with it, so I figured I might as well just put it in the book. It has nothing to do with grave robbers. It's like a superhero kind of thing. If you're familiar at all with 2000 AD, basically it's a 3-page story where you have to create and establish a narrative, and then also provide a shocking ending. So that's what that is, and I called it False Dichotomy.
Yeah. 20K The Gaunt short story. The Ferryman of Souls.
Yeah, Gaunt is a cool character. I kind of have a little bit of a universe going on with a handful of characters, Gaunt being one of them. Gaunt is he's literally a ferryman of souls, Chiron from the Greek myths. He basically has charged him with finding rogue souls and bringing them back to the River Styx, which is conveniently in Texas. So, it's a cool little story telling his origins and kind of showing what he does. And, maybe one day I'll do a full story based on Gaunt. So, yeah.
42 pages, not including the covers. I see what you did there.
There you go. Not the covers, not the they're not any of the extra thank you pages or anything like that. So just a solid 41 pages of comic.
All right. And let me see something here now that I'm yeah. Dante's Inferno.
Yeah, well, yeah, River Styx runs through I can't remember which layer of hell it is. But yeah, the Divine Comedy is a fantastic read if you're into that kind of poetry. If you can get through it, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, it's definitely pretty cool. With the River Styx though, that goes back to the Greeks, I think, with I can't remember if it was in which one it was in, but yeah, it's definitely also in Dante's Inferno. Yeah, I think it's level 4. I can't remember the layer of hell that it's in.
I would not know. I didn't read this.
Yeah, my wife got me a copy of it for my birthday one year, and
nice.
Yeah, it's like leather bound. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a cool gift, but it's a lot of poetry. So if you're not into poetry, it's not going to be a fun read. Otherwise, it's a great read. It's pretty cool.
I like poetry.
It also deals a lot with some of the historical figures of the time, which can be kind of challenging. But
okay.
Yeah, like there's politicians, and I had to look up so much shit while I was reading it. I felt so stupid. I'm like, who the hell is that guy? Okay, all right, like Google, and then okay, I get it.
But now you know.
Yeah,
just half the battle. So we've got the tiers, the perks. I love when creators include a feature book In this case, this is just the book itself, isn't it?
Yeah, well, every book that's bought comes with a Richard trading card. So if you buy this book, you're gonna get one. With the next perk, 2 books, you get two trading cards. So regardless, you're gonna get a trading card. Some people are gonna get more because of they were email backers or they backed within the first 30 days, whatever. But no matter what, every single book comes with at least one card, and now it's Richard. So you'll get Grave Robbers for $18 plus the Richard card.
And then the 2 books, you get the 2 Richard trading cards.
Right.
And we've got a pick a character head sketch.
Right. And there's no shipping on that one. So you can get that and there's no shipping.
And
so it's just straight up $60. You can do an add-on to get a comic book on top of that. So if you want to put them together, you can get the sketch and the comic book, or vice versa. If you want to get a book and you want to add on a head character head sketch, but you don't want to pay, or you want it to come with the book, you can get the head sketch as an add-on perk.
And then how big are these head sketches?
I think they're 8 by 11.
Okay.
I want to say I'd have to ask Passion.
About the size of printer paper.
I think so. I'm not positive. I'd have to double check with him on that.
Okay. Then you got the. Oh yeah. So you choose a character. So when you're at checkout, it's got like a drop down list of character names.
No, it's gonna be like an email thing.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Man, these are affordable and reasonable tiers.
Yeah, I tried to price them pretty well. Again, not a lot of people really know who I am, so I'm not like a well-known guy. So I wanted people when they came, if they're willing to be like, hey, I don't really know this guy. Let's see how much these cost. If they're kind of low, I figured people would be more inclined to be like, okay, well, let's take a chance on this dude. They're pretty cool. Pretty well priced, I think, for somebody trying to come in as a new guy. So
yeah, and I like that you have a retailer pack as well. You get 5 comics. Does that also mean you get 5 trading cards?
It does.
All
you
right.
get 5 trading cards and 5 comics.
All right.
Yep.
And so far,
I have one person who has claimed that, and that person is also an email backer. So that person is going to get the Big Dick Murphy trading card, the Richard trading card, and the Rotting Golem trading card. So they're going to get like 15 trading cards.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So that person hit the jackpot on that one. So.
Yeah. I ran out of funds at the absolute worst time because there's so many cool projects, so many cool books out, and I can't get in on the launch day to take advantage of all the extra bonuses at the beginning that so many campaigns offer.
Oh yeah,
24-hour special and whatnot.
Yeah, there's some. I think Vinny's doing one right now with his. I think it's what is that? Not Release the Kraken. It's
Is it Mermaids?
No, that's Adam.
That's it. All right.
I think it's Release the Kraken. I can't remember, but he's doing I think a print with his.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. I definitely got to get in on that, but it's like the first week, so I got to hop on that quick.
Oh man, yeah. Bowsette doesn't remember either. The game is awesome though.
Oh, Dante's Inferno. Yeah. The game was cool. Yeah, the game was awesome.
I don't think I ever played that one.
Oh. It was pretty cool. It was like a God of War style game, but with
okay.
But with Dante's Inferno. I think you got a scythe to begin with, if I'm not mistaken. It was pretty cool. I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool.
Was that something made for the consoles, or did they release it on PC?
I think it's on PC, but I played it on I think I played it on my 360 is what I had it for.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, yeah, it was pretty cool. You follow, I think Dante is the main character, and you follow, Virgil down into the, depths of hell and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every now and again, I actually back the retailer packs.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Simply, well, to give further support, but also to have extra copies for the helms of it.
Right on.
Let's see here. Then we got original page art.
Yep.
Yeah, that's very reasonable for original page art. So there's 6 available.
Yep. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick out 6 specific pages. I think we already have them in mind. If I'm not mistaken, Passion and I talked about it, and we picked out, the ones that stand out. The pages that are on there right now on the campaign. I think we have 2 straight up pages that are for sale. So the one you're looking at right now, that's for sale. The one underneath it is also for sale, but there's another 4 pages that are also for sale. So what we're gonna do, that one is I think that's page 12. That's also for sale. And it's a phenomenal page. Like I said, I think it's 11 by 14, 7 by 7. I can't remember the page size. No, you can keep going with that. No, but it's basically the idea is that we picked out the best of the best. They're all fantastic pages, but we picked out the best pages that like the cream of the crop. And basically we'll send you an email with the images. It's going to be a first come first serve. We didn't want it to be like dialogue pages, stuff like that. So where they're just kind of standing around doing nothing. We wanted action pages and pages of reveals and stuff like that. Cool pages that people would like to frame and put up in their house. So I think that people are going to like what we've got. And, once we're ready to go with it, we'll send out the email and you can pick it. Like I said, it's first come, first serve, but they're all going to be great pages. So,
yeah, people like action.
Oh yeah, definitely. And this is chock full of it. It's 36 pages and it's almost all action. So,
and then we've got the Preston Acevedo artwork.
Yep.
Oh.
$400. Also, none of these have shipping, so all of this is straight up.
Man, that's cool.
Yeah, it's just straight up art that you can buy, and I'll send it out to you.
That's such a nice piece.
It really is. He did a phenomenal job on it. I'm at a loss for words at how well he did with it. I was shocked when I saw it. He even showed me like before pages, like he showed me like sketches. I was like, oh yeah, I can see where he's going with that. That's gonna look cool. But then he said to me the original, and I was like, holy crap, that's amazing.
Does Passion work traditional or digital or both?
Both. With the drawn pages, he's going to be doing. With these original pages, he's going to be doing those hand drawn. So those aren't going to be digital, but the rest of the book is digital.
Right on.
Yeah, all of the inking I think on this is also by hand. So yeah, I think he also did digital inks for them. He scanned them in and did digital inks on top of that. I'd have to talk to him, but I'm not positive. But it's all of the pages for sale are done by hand.
Regarding Dante's Inferno, it was supposed to be God of War on the Xbox, but Sony said no.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, they wouldn't let him bring it over, so I guess they just did Dante's Inferno instead. They're like, we could do something. Let's do Dante's Inferno is supposed to be, I think there's the Iliad and the Odyssey, and then there's the Aeneid. Like Rome did their own version of like the Greek myths called the Aeneid, and then when the Roman city states and stuff during the Renaissance were kind of coalescing into more or less, what Italy would become. They were like, okay, well, let's do our own. So, Dante did the Dante's Inferno, the Divine Comedy, which is supposed to be like the fourth installment of those trilogy, like of the Greek myths and stuff, but with a Catholic slant, obviously. So that's why it continues from God of War. So.
Oh, and there's the original double page art, 500.
Right. Yeah, $500.
Oh yeah, it's the battle where she's flipping the bird with the
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's such a fun piece. I had a lot of fun watching him draw that. Yeah, it's a double page. It's 500. It's it's pretty cool. It's a good book. It's a good page. I think people are gonna love it. Again, no shipping, so that'll go right out to you.
Does the book have a single double page spread, or is there more than one?
We have multiple double page. I think we have 2 double page spreads.
But the one that was selected for this tier is this specific one.
Right.
Right. Cool.
Yeah, this is like the character reveal of the grave robbers. Yeah, so it's like it's them all together for the big kind of showing like we're the grave robbers kind of thing. So
gotcha.
Yeah,
the grand entrance.
Exactly.
And you're right. I love when campaigns have the faded out, sold out tiers because it lets me see what I missed out on. And
yeah, I was pretty ecstatic about that. What it makes you miss out on. That's funny. Yeah, no, it's yeah, I was pretty happy with how quickly it went. It went up within a couple of days. It was like there and gone.
Yeah,
I thought about doing more, but we went with 3. So
people enjoy being drawn into books. I think it's neat.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see these people, in the books, and I think they're going to like what we do with them. So,
have you guys already plotted out where you're going to plug them in the story?
Yeah, we had a couple of characters that we were going to plug in, but we left the heads blank and stuff like that, so that we could draw them in. Yeah,
nice. Hey, welcome, Mananui. Glad to have you here.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah, let's go ahead and play the trailer again.
Cool.
I love the Western music. Nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did you say this was done by WyzGyz?
Yeah. He did a great job on it.
Yeah, he did indeed. Whenever I hear about people making trailers for CG books campaigns, usually his is among the top that I hear.
Oh yeah,
people
easily. He does some of the best work I've ever seen on these. I think for all future campaigns after this one, I'll be definitely going back to him. He not only was he easy to work with, he does a phenomenal job. Does an incredible job. So
Is
yeah.
it something that as simple as, all right, here's all the content I want to share. Here's the vibe I'm going for, and then go do your magic. Or was there a lot of collaboration throughout the whole process of
I basically I contacted him, and he kind of asked me what I was kind of going for and what I wanted. Then he had me email him some of the images that I wanted to use, and we kind of talked about some stuff, and he sent me a preliminary kind of idea, and there's some little bit of notes, and then he sent me the final version, and that's I mean, it was actually, I think it didn't take very long either. I think it was within a week or two. I think that it got it all put together. So
yeah, I don't get what the hell is going on. That Matanui and Balzette never seem to be able to see each other in chats and whatnot.
oh, that's bizarre.
Yeah, I can't figure it out because both of them have checked their YouTube settings and they're not blocking each other at all. And I wonder if it's a side effect to all the updates that YouTube's been trying to do and all the problems that their algorithm changes have been causing.
That's probably it. I know that they've been doing a whole lot of I don't know what yeah. I was trying to find a way to say it, but yeah, censorship and a whole lot of crap like that. So yeah, it's probably something along those lines. They've probably crapped the bed somewhere along the line in their code. So
right, yeah. I mean, hopefully it'll get fixed one day. But yeah, I hear you. Nothing. Communist stupid. That's good. I like that.
That's really good, actually. That's really clever. I like that.
That is clever. That's a really specific side effect. I know, I'm grasping at straws. I know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what could be causing that. And, I've been in IT for 17 years, so it's like, what the frick is going on? Because I don't hear anyone else having this particular problem. So it's like, weird. Bizarre.
It's pretty bizarre.
Yeah. So Bad Gravy Robbers, this definitely should be a funded book. We got to get this funded. So when you get funded,
right?
Are you planning on going in demand then?
Yeah, definitely. I'll be going in demand. I'll do that for a little while. I plan on trying to get these books out to people by May. Like late May, maybe early June at the latest.
Okay.
I have it set to May on the campaign, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm aiming for like the 3rd or 4th week of May.
All right, and let's see here. I am going to give you the floor. Please share with the world how you can be found on social media.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Mark Makes Comics with an X instead of a CS in comics, and you can find me on Redbubble at I think it's redbubble.com/people/MF Comics. Also on Indiegogo, you can search for Grave Robbers, and you can back the book. It's a great book. It's only $18, and you get a free trading card.
Awesome. And I'll drop the link again to your merch store. You can find me on Facebook and YouTube under WyzGyz Entertainment, Twitch under WyzGyz Twitches, Twitter under WyzGyz tweets. Please hit the like button, smash it, smang it, whatever. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, indicate all notifications. So hopefully you don't receive. Hopefully you do receive notifications and updates from YouTube when I'm streaming or doing videos. And I want to thank everyone in chat. You guys rock. Can't do this without you. Appreciate all your support. Thank you to everyone in who watches this on replay. You guys are cool too. And most especially, thank you to our very special guest, Mark Makes Comics.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you for being on. Hope to have you on again soon. Yeah, let's close it out then.
Sounds good.
Take it easy, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Guest that is the only person below White Holiday in the ComicsGate phone book. It's my favorite failed clone of Peter Sammetti. The YouTube WyzGyz. How you doing, Conrad? Welcome to the show.